welcome to another Dave's Adventure Vlog. Me and Carolyn. So we are here at Drayton Manor for Night at the Manor, the new Halloween scare attraction. The haunting, love?
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah.
You haven't done that in a while. So currently, rides, we have got 4 low-key. Jormungandr, or the old buffalo coaster, the haunting, and the Pulpero Express, or the new scare maze attraction, the Haunted Express.
And Apocalypse, you've got Zombie
Oh,
Apocalypse.
and also there's Zombie Apocalypse, the drop tower. So yeah, it is getting on quite late. But yeah, there's Apocalypse, which should be interesting. And we've got the scare mazes as well. But yeah, first up we're doing the haunting.
That'll be the lights we could see on when we went in the castle, right? Have you done the castle?
Not yet.
Do that.
I like it, yeah.
Are we going
Wait for it,
to
it's
do
fun.
the train? Yeah. Haunted Express.
I've done 4 Jormungandr,
And the
the haunting, and now Apocalypse.
probably because that, yeah. Of course, because it's normal.
Right, so we've just done Castle of Screams. That was, I don't know,
It
between
was interesting and I enjoyed it.
between that or the Haunted Express. I want to say that's more atmospheric. Dinner time. We've had like 2 nights reviewing of when we went to the new Halloween themed event at Drayton Manor, Night at the Manor. We went Saturday night, I believe. The official opening, not the press release, which we wasn't invited, but oh well. I am happy to pay. We found it. Well, I personally found it alright. It was a good event for like first time. Obviously, it's on again next, I believe, Friday and Saturday night. The 20. Is it the 27th? I think it's
28th.
the 27th.
28th.
Well, look, we've got the what's it here.
And this is just a normal programme.
It is just a normal programme. Yeah, I think it's...
Yeah, if it's Friday, it's the 28th. Saturday's the 29th, because I'm going to Wolverhampton.
28th and the 29th, so yeah. Got 2 more days of Night at the Manor, the new Halloween event. We didn't really have a major problem. I mean, the only 2 things that we weren't really happy about was when I was queuing up for the Haunted Express. Easily we waited maybe a good hour.
A good hour.
At least.
No, it's not their fault that we waited that
No.
long. Right? We've been discussing this ourselves, and what we would hope that they can do for next year is, at least for the Haunted Express, if not for the other stuff as well, is perhaps give you a time slot.
Attraction, yeah.
That way there won't be queuers, and I think they perhaps wasn't expecting as many people to do the event as did do the event on Saturday.
Yeah.
We went to go to the Express round about 6:30 ish.
Was it?
It was about 6:30 to 6:45, something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
probably right.
That's the time that we went to do it, and it appears as though a lot of other people were doing it at the same time, unfortunately. So a bit of mistiming on our part, in hindsight. But we were waiting a good hour for it.
Yeah.
And I think there were people that joined the queue after us. They would have been waiting a good hour to 2 hours. So it would have definitely benefited from giving people a time. So you could have said to, I don't know if it's 20 or 30 people that the Express can hold, but you could have given 20 or 30 people the time slot of 6 p.m. and then another, let's say 10 past or 6:15, and so on every 15 minutes, because the attraction is 10 minutes long roughly. So we change over and everything. You could have given it every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
To actually do the ride and everything. And it just would have made things a bit smoother. So whilst we were waiting that hour, we could have gone and done the other 2 mazes, or more rides or whatever, and then gone to our allotted time.
Luckily, the Castle of Screams, we waited probably 10 minutes for that, which wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we did the Castle of Screams straight after, me and David. Yeah, we waited about 10 minutes. There wasn't that long a queue when we first got in. When we went to do the haunting, there was a big queue in that area, which is why we did the haunting. But yeah, so the queues. I think the queues for the scare mazes might have moved quite quickly, or at least the one that we queued in for Castle of Screams did.
Yeah.
We don't know
Maybe
about
because everyone's up by the
yeah.
Haunted Express. So
Yeah,
the queues.
everyone was that area. So I think a lot of people did the Haunted Express last because of it being so far into the park, perhaps compared to the other things.
Yeah.
So they might just have gone round that way. And never mind, it was one of them. It's a learning curve, but it could be it might be worth then thinking about perhaps doing a timed ticket for the Haunted Express at least, as well as maybe the mazes.
The Hunt for Zebediah, we never got the chance to try.
No.
Well, obviously there was the time situation. It was after when we did the Castle of Screams.
No, we would have if
it was running.
We got up to do the Castle of Screams about 8 o'clock, just after 8.
Yeah.
Right, and by the time we'd finished doing that, we would have had time to have done Hunt for Zebediah, because it was only about 8:30. Unfortunately, there'd been some kind of incident.
Yeah.
I'm guessing about 7:30, roughly, or so. Maybe a little bit before then, I don't know. But there'd been some kind of incident in Hunt for Zebediah, which resulted in them closing the attraction early. So something had gone on. We don't know what precisely. We just know that something had happened. We believe that perhaps a guest might have acted inappropriately or something. We're not certain. Right, this is just what we heard mutterings about, but we're really not certain at all. And yeah, they ended up having to close the attraction, the maze, due to health and safety and everything.
Yeah.
So that's a shame. So we couldn't do that maze, but the rest.
Other than that,
we enjoyed Castle of Screams.
Yeah.
I got 4 jump scares myself. Right, so there were 4 times whilst I was walking around that the actors made me jump, just like step back a little bit. David didn't get anything.
I just enjoyed.
But it was just enjoyable to walk around and see the old castle as well, because it's part of what was Castle of Dreams or something years ago. So there's still dragons and other things in the.
I didn't see the actual dragon.
In the right areas.
Clocks.
No, well, you wasn't looking up.
No.
I was looking up as well.
I was looking left and right and forward.
Yeah, I was looking all around. So it was just interesting to see what was there and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. We did the haunting, which is normally they're open and everything anyways, normally.
We did that around dusk.
Yeah, we did that around dusk.
But when we got out, it was proper dark, so...
Yeah. It's a shame, actually, with the haunting, thinking about it. They could have perhaps have put 1 or 2 actors in to give people a little bit more of a spook. You know, just for the evening kind of thing. Just for the event. I mean, the haunting is already a little bit of a spooky ride and everything. It's meant to be a spooky ride because it's similar to Hex. Right, although the haunting opened first, I believe. Right, so it's already meant to be a spooky ride, but they could have perhaps have jazzed it up a little bit by adding 1 or 2 actors. The zombie apocalypse David did that. Rather unfortunately, we were told by the operator that they didn't actually have time to do the zombies. So there should have been a couple of extra actors in the queue line, I believe, to scare people as they were walking through to do Apocalypse. But they ran out of cast members, or something just happened as they couldn't do it Saturday night anyways.
The views
so there was
on
no
that
zombies.
Was quite spectacular and special. Seeing obviously all the lights over Vikings, even over the other side of the lake, and the hotel was all lit up with the different colours. that was amazing. I must admit.
The only other thing that I'm a little disappointed about, and this is nothing to do with the evening itself, is I'm slightly disappointed that when they finished retheming what was Buffalo to Yeoman High, I can't pronounce.
Jormungandr.
Yeah.
Or
The sea serpent, the Viking sea serpent. I don't know how to pronounce its name properly. Right? I'm disappointed that the engine for whatever reason they've decided to stop it from going round twice on the circuit. So it used to be the Buffalo always
special.
Always gave you a 2-lap special. Unfortunately now it stops once it's done 1 lap. So that's kind of disappointing to me personally, because it's a really enjoyable little train ride and coaster, and it's better with 2 laps than with 1. But that's nothing to do with the night itself. This is
The actual map.
the actual map from the event inside. So I don't know how well you can see that. So there. And then there was a couple of extra food stands. So there was a hog roast. There was a barbecue pit. No, the barbecue pit was there. Is normally there anyways.
We didn't actually eat from there.
No, we didn't get in. Well, I got a donut. I got 1 donut. So yeah, there was a couple of extra stalls. So there was a stall that's serving drinks. The DJ, he was in the booth next to the photos off Yeoman High.
Jormungandr.
Yeah. And then there was a stand doing hog roast food. And then in the park itself there was the hot dog, where the hot dog stands are usually, the fun foods or whatever they're called, opposite the entrance to Vikings, just a little bit down opposite the lake, kind of thing. That was open. And then according to this, George and the Dragon was open as well, for food and stuff. I asked for a spectacular donut. Looking at the menu, I thought this donut was the donut and a donut of some kind and then ice cream on top. But what I was given and what I paid for as well, which is good, was just an orange donut. So I believe perhaps the ice cream had been turned off or something might have happened. I don't know. I wasn't told. But the orange donut was okay. It was just a donut, but it was orange. You know?
And while you was doing Jormungandr twice, I decided to jump on my final night ride on Loki, the Gerslava Nebulas. That was alright. I think I did have to wait while on the top part for more people going on from the bottom, and
Yeah, well, you
that was about probably 5 minutes, but it was alright.
yeah, but they have to do that for,
Well, yeah, true.
you know, they can't let you off in the sky or anything.
Well, no,
No, it's the loading. It's the way it's loaded.
yeah,
So
but
that's
yeah,
no
I mean
biggie.
that was okay. That was a good night ride.
Yeah. The only other thing that I would suggest to the park, is perhaps it might have been a good idea to have started clearing the park at 4:30, give them half an hour to clear the park of day guests,
Yeah,
and then welcome the event guests, because there were a few people milling around at 5:00 that were trying to get on rides and stuff in the Viking area that were no longer permitted because it was
after 5
after
o'clock.
5 o'clock,
Yeah.
and it was the event guests only after 5 o'clock. So in hindsight, it would be perhaps a good idea for them to have half an hour gap between them. And then the other thing that would be good as well, this is something that we heard some people say, is instead of shutting at 9 o'clock, perhaps shut at 10 o'clock. Because there was a few people that felt with the queues for Haunted Express and maybe some of the queues for the other mazes as well at certain times, that perhaps the 4 hours from 5 till 9 wasn't quite long enough to do the different to do the mazes properly after dark and everything. But again, if they were to do the time slots, if they did time slots for the mazes or at least for the express, that could help with the issue of people not feeling as if they've got long enough. Because if you've got a specific time, you know that you're not queuing for too long over that time. We've done a couple of different events this year and last year, and it works well if you've got a time slot to go for, because you're not queuing for too long.
That's the only difference with the scare mazes at Drayton compared to Scarefest at Alton Towers.
Yeah, and I think possibly at other places as well, they often give you a time to either start your first maze or to start particular mazes, and then you've got X amount of minutes, say an hour or 2 hours to do all of them, or it's just a time slot. Say you do maze 1 at I don't know, 5:30, and then you've got another time slot at 6 o'clock or at 7 o'clock or something for the second maze, and so on. So it, there's ways of working it, but it would, I think it really would be good if they did the Haunted Express at least with a time slot, rather than people queuing.
The actual scare attractions, I'd say, obviously between the two, are a lot better than Scarefest. I mean,
yeah, I would definitely say that the Haunted Express is really good. Without giving it away, it's the original Polo Express.
Pompero
Express. So the train goes out and around Adventure Cove like it does normally, but then at some point, but then what they've done to make it spooky is they give you a headset, and you are listening to some kind of audio story experience, whatever way you want to call it. And then at certain parts around the track, the train ride
does stop, twice.
It stopped twice, and there are actors around out and about around the track, interacting. Not really interacting, but playing along with the audio, scaring people, popping out of bushes, that kind of thing, just to give people a scare, and it made it really quite interesting. So it's definitely a level up, and it was really good, really enjoyable. I personally did not get a jump scare doing the Haunted Express, but I know we did hear quite a few other people screaming and like moving back from the edge of the seats and what have you. But it was really good fun. And actually that kind of thing was the way that they've interpreted that audio and what they've done, and added the actors into it rather than it just being the train going round and the audio, really works. It really did work well. I would say personally that Alton Towers ought to take a little leaf from that and put actors in their invitation, because to me the invitation, which is a similar experience but does not, it's an audio experience, right? There's no ride or anything, it's just an audio experience. That would benefit from having a couple of actors in the invitation to scare people, So I'm really glad that Drayton Manor, instead of just putting the headsets on, I've actually gone into it more, thought about it more, and have put actors out on the track.
Yeah.
So it was really good, really enjoyable, really good. And I really enjoyed the Scream Castle as well.
Castle of Screams, yeah.
Castle of Screams.
I'd say between them two, yeah, it's a lot better than Scarefest.
Yeah,
this
for
year.
considering it was their first time doing it, I think overall, them two individual things were definitely better than what we got at Scarefest.
Yeah.
For us personally. We still enjoyed Scarefest, but for us personally, them two experiences were better at Drayton Manor than their equivalent at Alton Towers.
Yeah.
For us personally.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our review on Night at the Manor. So yeah, if you do enjoy Night of the Manor vlog, please, hit the thumbs up, like button. If you can share, that would also be great.
And Drayton Manor, please do this again. Just try and up it a little bit for next year.
I think they will do it for next year, yeah. Please do comment. And lastly, if you haven't, please do subscribe to our channels. Mine's Dave's Adventures. Carolyn's got her own channel, which is going to be linked in the video description.
Yeah, mine is Kaz's Crafts and More.
I think you've just got the one POV, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got to sort that out.
So yeah, until next one. Bye.
Bye.